learn more and more about what forces were actually controlling the creation of culture and creation of our nation here in America, I became more and more familiar with the order of the Freemasons. And as I dug deeper and started to understand what the Freemasons were, understand that they were practicing ancient occult ritual magic, and then applying this to what I saw in the political realms and believing that they were attempting the Holy Masonic Empire, which is what Albert Pike claimed they were building, and the purpose for this nation we call America. This is a Masonic nation. House Resolution 33 established Freemason Day here in America. June 24th, you know, everybody celebrate it. June 24th is Freemason Day. It's also St. John's Day because that's their patron saint. Well, Freemasonry has been established as the founding belief of America. It's the reason we're called America. It's the reason that, you know, all of the presidents have been Masons up to the first 13, and then over half of them since then. We have a Masonic nation. That's why our capital's District of Columbia, why the street plans are set in these particular geometric patterns, pentagrams, pyramids, all of that.
Right, right.
We understand, okay? So when you have to understand what the Freemasonic belief system is, and as you dig deeper and deeper into it, you read Albert Pike, their Grand Pontiff, who is also a war criminal that has a statue in D.C. He has his ashes kept in the Temple of the 33rd. That's 13 blocks from the Capitol. And I've been there. They gave me a copy of his book while I was there. They looked up my family bloodline. They came back with the membership card and handed me Albert Pike's works, along with a compilation dictionary by the Temple of the 33rd Supreme Council. So I began reading, studying, and realizing that Albert Pike states clearly over 70 times in Morals and Dogma that Freemasonry is Kabbalism. There's just no doubts in it. Once you start to study the rites, rituals, ceremonies, and everything, you'll notice clearly that it is an ancient Hebrew mysticism, which we now call Kabbalism. They've been calling it Kabbalism for some time. But so if you go into a lodge, you're going to see six-pointed hexagrams, stars, the Star of David as people know it. You're going to see a lot of Jewish symbolism, but you're going to also realize that they're practicing this ancient Hebrew mysticism, which is magic, basically. And in this magic are coded numbers, phrases, and signs and symbols. You'll see them on every corporation you see around you. That's the reason there's a pentagram on Texaco and a shell on shell. These are symbols of Venus, their goddess, Isis, who is also our goddess Columbia. These go back to the merfolk and the fish people. Columbia, Isis, we see her all over America. We see her as Columbia Broadcasting in the eye. Look into the eye goddess of ancient Egypt and how the Ra would use this force. Mm-hmm. Now, this is a force that they've been encoding and using all over the place. So when I heard of the W, I was actually just discovering the corporate logos, going through them all. Chevron's double cube is the Masonic altar. Exxon's double cross is the cross of Lorraine for the Templars. McDonald's golden arches, that's what the Templars were known for. Target's sun sign, the point within a circle. Walmart's pentagram. Well, I got to Phillips. Now, this one, BP, Phillips 66, and it'd be more interesting now that we have the underwater horizon, which is a coded Horus symbol. But the Prince Phillips, Phillips 66, I got to that corporate logo and said, okay, there's got to be an answer to this one. Everything else fits into the pattern. And actually, every corporate logo can be taken and planted inside of the Masonic ritual. So if you know the Masonic ritual, you'll understand what each of the corporate logos means. Once again, this is why Starbucks has a fish goddess. But, yeah. You know.
I never noticed that.
She has a pentagram on her head. She's the star goddess, the eye goddess. And the reason her feet are up behind her neck is because they used to try to explain how they would have sex with these fish people. And that's the point of Starbucks logo. So when I got to Phillips 66, I started to, well, you know, very simply went to a Kabbalist dictionary, looked up the number 66, and found out it's the number of the fallen angels. What the Kabbalists would call a Qliphoth or a Qliphoth. There's a couple of different ways of pronouncing. This Qliphoth are the excrement of magic. They are the dark side. They are the very ones that are listed in the book of Enoch, Lilith, Samael, Azrael, all of the ancient demons are the Qliphoth or the Qliphoth. And these are coded by the number 66. And when you look to Hebrew, 6 equals V. So now you're seeing 66, and you can just easily change that to BV or W. So now W is the coded message of the Qliphoth, or the dark side, or what they call excrement. So W means excrement, right? It's the souls of those that died insane, according to magicians. Now you'll also notice on the six-pointed crest, okay, so Philip 66 has the number 66, but then it also has the six-pointed crest around it. This is a coded 666. And when you start looking for that, it gets very interesting, and reasoning is even more interesting. Hopefully we'll get to that in these 3 hours. So 66 with the coded 6, with the hidden 6, was also encoded in Hitler's Volkswagen logo. So now when you look at a VW logo, you'll notice very clearly it's two V's.
666?
No, just two V's. It's 66, the Qliphoth. But the two V's are interlaced, making a third, or a coded 6, right? Look at it again. It's actually two V's interlaced. So it's the number of the Qliphoth, the 66, but with the crossing making the third 6, or third V, making it 666.
I see that now. I'm looking at it. Yeah.
So now when we understand that we're not dealing with politics, we're dealing with religion. Nazism was not a political idea. It was a religious belief. They were magicians practicing ancient Hebrew mysticism based on theosophy. Adolf Hitler ran around with Madame Blavatsky's secret doctrine. He kept it by his bed. He was very into this. And then when you start to understand what this all deals with, this is ancient hierarchical genetics, and this is where the whole eugenics scheme comes from. So within theosophy, which is philosophy of religion, theosophy, right? It's actually coded Luciferianism, or open Luciferianism, being that they were originally published by Lucifer Trust, which became the Lucius Trust. And within the doctrines, if you read the Secret Doctrine or Isis Unveiled, you'll see that these are Luciferians. Now, I've done a lot of study on Lucifer, and I don't think he's Satan. I don't think the two go together, and you cannot even prove that Satan is Lucifer in the Bible. And that's another topic, but we'll get to it, I promise. So now we're dealing with a group of people that have a belief system that deals with ancient Egyptian or Hebrew magic. It boils up into our world today. We think of it as politics, but it's not. They're encoding and dividing ritual around us. So when they forced the W into office, he was the excrement. He was the fallen one. And so I knew immediately that he would be the one to bring about the ultimate destruction of America. That was his purpose. If you read like Frank Herbert's Dune, and you'll see that they brought in the evil son, the emperor's son, and then brought in the good son to, you know, soften him up and then hit him with the good guy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Same scenario here with W and Obama. So W was forced into office as I had said he would be. I said W will be president no matter what, and he will be the last American president. And I said this boldly on radio shows before anyone had even heard the name Obama. Because now, okay, so this is 2001. And so I've been tracking the Homeland Security bill all through the Bill Clinton era. Now, most people don't know that they were trying to pass this Homeland Security all through the Clinton era. Every October 1st, this bill would come up to pass. I have it linked on my website. You can see it on the front page of the blog, freemantv.com. I was tracking this Homeland Security Act. Now, the Homeland Security Act falls on the 1st of October every year. It kept coming, but they had no reason to pass it. When they forced the W, or the 66, into office, I knew that would be the year. So I made it known to everyone, and I put up posters around town, which you can also see on the front of my website, showing Bush in this, bringing down the Twin Towers. Okay, I didn't know the targets at the time. I just knew that they needed a major terrorist attack to bring about this. I knew that they needed 2 weeks for public reaction time. And so I said in the middle of September there's going to be a major terrorist attack. Then I continued with my ideas on the idea of this being ritual. So I decided to formulate it a little bit further, and I said that terrorist attack is going to fall on 9/11. Now, there are reasons for 9/11. The ones that I knew at the time were that was the day HW announced the New World Order for the first time publicly.
Yeah,
This,
1991.
And knowing that they are ritual and ceremonial in nature, I knew that they would continue to use such a date. What I didn't know at the time was the true meaning of 9/11. Now I've gone back to Kenneth Grant with the Ordo Templi Orientis. I've gone back with Isaac Bonewits, the only academically accredited magician, and I've studied into Aleister Crowley. And now I know the meaning of 9/11. Now I know 9/11 is a satanic or Luciferian number. It is a dark number. It's a number of evil within their own magical phrases. This is the reason Aleister Crowley put a K at the end of magic, because it's the 11th letter. This was a secret number inside of their Ordo Templi Orientis. 9 to 11, when you're looking at Kabbalism, everything